I'm not going to use ink for them. I am going to use my Pom Pom, but I'm going to use my chalk pencil. I'm just trying to bring this in as far as I can so that way it has good shading, since it is the focal point of the pumpkin carving. I don't want it plain. I know all of the other pumpkins in the file have had multiple layers, which I'm kind of confused a little why this one didn't, now that I'm looking at the picture, which I can show at the end. I'll hold it up next to the screen. Now these little pieces are just because I've used the heck out of this dauber. I use it until it has no life left, just because I hate wasting ink, as it does get costly. Scrapbooking is an expensive hobby if you get into everything you see. And I went from dry ink to wet ink to, dry chalk to wet chalk to inking to colored pencils, but I still use my color pencils. So I'm not done with that pumpkin yet. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my Pom Pom on this piece. This piece goes in the spoon. So we're gonna just give it some life here. The seeds go on it. And like I said, I'm trying to beat my husband home, which I normally never rush, but since I already had it cut out and in my head I already seen it put together on the screen, and then like I said, in my head I had it put together quickly because it didn't seem to be one of the larger piecings. And what I mean by that is there's not a ton of layers with this one. It's a few minimal layers, and I like that. I'm gonna take the shading into this just a little more since it is the inside of the pumpkin. I don't want just the edges done. It's what we all dig out when we pull those seeds out with our kids or even for ourselves. I love fresh pumpkin seeds that are baked versus the ones that you get from the store in the bag. They just are a lot better. I think because we season them differently. But like I said, I'm bringing the ink in a whole lot farther than I would, just because it is gonna be darker and stand out a little more with the seeds. There we go. All right, so now for the pumpkin. I have colored pencils, which I showed in my last video. And I'm not sure which color to use, so we're gonna grab a few of them. I have more, but I don't think I need every color. I don't want it super bold. I'm done with my ink, and I'll show you guys the pencils again. My mom got them for me for my birthday, and it was a great birthday gift because it is something I use. And I didn't think I would use them as much as I do, but I've actually replaced the set twice. As this has become one of my favorite tools. So now the Pom Poms. I got the micro Pom Poms because of this exact reason. This case came out of the jewelry department at Hobby Lobby. So here's the minis, and then here's the full size. So 6mm, 3mm. And I'm going to use these chalk pencils. I'm going to start with a lighter color and work my way up. They're General's Pastel Chalk. My mom, I believe, got them for me on Amazon, and I started getting them from Amazon as well. Okay, so this is going to be too light, so we're going to go darker. And the reason why I'm freehanding this is because in the picture on the screen, it has like a shadow of where the pieces will be. I'm actually going to cheat right now. And this is just how my brain works. I want more of a rounder side, so I'm going to use the pumpkin's edge from the other file. And it doesn't do anything to the outside of the pumpkin because it's gonna get lightened here in just a minute. I'm gonna go with this side right here first. That way then I can kind of gauge this one appropriately. There we go. All right, now that I have a better even guide, and if I don't like how these look with the lightness, I'm gonna go ahead and darken them up again. Now, this is where the chalking part of the pencil comes in. I'm lightening them up. That way they blend in. Here's the difference. It's a smooth transition and a hard transition because I haven't softened them yet. And you can always go darker. You can actually put it on again. It's buildable, but not as good as an ink. So you would want to put a darker color in. But this is how you guys see a lot of my detailing, is chalk pencils. And I know I'm one that gives all my secrets away, but I would rather have you guys have a keepsake that you are pleased with than something that you're unhappy with because you didn't know. And that's the chalk pencil. It looks natural and smooth. I use it in stencils on my pieces. I go crazy with them. Now, the reason I did the eyelashes, like I say in the other videos, is just to save time, but I'm going to show you my process of putting them together. This is Stampin' Up's pink. I just took it out of the big palette of the pastels because opening, closing, and right now I'm so limited on being able to get up that I have to improvise the best I can. Now this one came destroyed. It came shipped in dust. I was not too happy, but I didn't complain because I've actually made it work. I don't go on Amazon and complain because those drivers do bust their hump to make sure we have everything. And they worked through the pandemic. Let me tell you, did they work? I saw Amazon here where I live almost every day, and it wasn't for me always. It was all the neighbors delivering, you know, to the different houses and the different tracks. And I mean, I feel bad for them. And it got to the point though where they don't ring your doorbell though. They just put it on your porch and they go. Problem is, in California we have a lot of mail thieves, but I know mail thieves are everywhere. It's not just California. And a lot of people that I know were saying that their packages were stolen. We have a ring on our front door and in our back just because I had an instance of a guy jump over my back fence. This is before I was married. New neighbors moved in, and I think they were going through my backyard over my fence to go get to their backyard because it was a young kid, but it scared the bejesus out of me. And now we put it in just for safety because we don't, there on the back of the house, there is a cove where our garage is that it's blind. You can't see there. So we put 2 rings in, one to catch the fence that is on, because we live at the end. So the street and our backyard, well, the service street and then the side yard and the dirt, because I live where there's a lot of dirt in Southern California. And then it's our fence in our backyard. And we got it where it looks at the fence and kind of keeps an eye over there, but then also in that little cutout in our backyard. That way we don't have any visitors, because I do go in the backyard here and there and we recycle cans and keep them in bags until we take them in the backyard, and I don't need any surprises. That scared me. And then we have a ring on the front door. Well, the Ring app actually, I'm not sure if you have to subscribe to Ring or if you can just actually download the app and utilize it. But I noticed that we get a lot of alerts from the neighbors that have it, and they post videos of Amazon dropping off their packages and then their packages being stolen by somebody. And we're never sure if it's, you know, Amazon people doing it and having somebody follow them and take it, or if it's somebody doing it on their own volition. And the reason I'm not trying to throw Amazon under the bus, but let me tell you what somebody posted. So the Amazon driver delivered the package, took a picture, and when we get a package, the picture of the package in our porch is then sent through the Amazon app to our phone that shows that it was delivered, along with the notification. Well, he did that not realizing that there was a hidden Ring camera in the corner of the person's house. They didn't do the doorbell. They were smart. They hid it underneath the awning, the roof of their porch, and he took a picture of it being delivered, and then he walked away, came back, picked it up, and stole it. And that was the Amazon driver. Of course, it went viral because somebody shared it from the guy on Amazon. Sorry, I just realized that I stuck my diamonds in ink. Not that it matters, but they're getting clean next month anyways when they get inspected. I just looked and I saw orange and I was like, that's weird. I thought maybe I had gotten soda on my pieces and I didn't want to have anything with watermarks. But Amazon is my go-to for all of my stuff. If you guys need links, let me know. I just scroll back. Most of the time I can find it. But I go ahead and use my pan pastels for the outer lining of the eye. I forgot I filled that. That is really, really full. So I just use my fingers to get the excess off. And I don't know if you guys necessarily want to see all this. I apologize. It's just some people are new and they don't quite understand the whole process and they don't have it all down. And now that I'm at 5 o'clock, I do need to rush a little bit because my husband should either be calling and interrupting the video or walking through the door. So pick one, you know. Worst case is I could make this a second part. Let me just push the limit here with him. I'm actually gonna scream for my daughter real quick. Brianna! Sorry about that. Teenagers hide in their room. And we're gonna go ahead and put these on. Will you text Dad for me?
Yeah.
Just because I'm recording.
Are you still recording?
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a gummy eraser that I use to take off glue that I touch anywhere. Here, Brianna. This is for Dad. Just text it to him. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second because I didn't call him. Put in whatever you want, like a hamburger, onion rings, whatever. Okay, cheeseburger. I know you like theirs. Tom's. Tom's menu. I made a huge dinner last night and I'm not supposed to be out of bed at all. I'm supposed to be on bed rest, and my foot, I was up all night, literally. I went to bed at 5:30 and I was back up at 7:16 this morning, just from pain. And so of course hubby said I didn't have to cook tonight. There's leftovers, but I just want salad to go with my homemade fettuccine. I made homemade mozzarella stuffed bread. The bread is homemade. The mozzarella is homemade. The fettuccine is homemade. The only thing is my heavy whipping cream was not homemade. So when you have tiny little pieces, this is how I get mine on. I learned this from Sarah, who actually owns Peppermint Cactus. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. That's just the type of person I am. She used to scrapbook, and oh my gosh, was I in love with her pieces, and I'm so mad at her for quitting on me because we would scrapbook together. That was my scrapbook buddy. and we would always bounce stuff off of each other. I can still go to her, but I miss seeing her beautiful pieces and layouts. She ended up getting into foam board decorations, and if you guys aren't familiar with it, or you guys are and want to see how to stain regular foam board from the dollar store and make it look like fall wood, that is the person to go follow. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love her work. I still am mad at her for quitting scrapbooking, but you know, hey, we all do what our heart desires, right? And she absolutely does a gorgeous job with what she does. So, you know, more power to her. Now this is just a makeup brush. This is just a round makeup brush that I put the whites of the eyes on. And this again is Pan Pastel. I'm doing the eyes, which I normally don't go through this whole entire process, but I kind of want to make sure that you guys all can pick up whatever you need, also for comfort. The reason why I used the rubber on the eyes was because I got a little bit of glue, and the white won't stick to the glue as well. And you can see it sticks out. It's very prominent. So I'm not going through everything as slow as I would be, just because, like I said, I was trying to do this before, but my doctor's appointment ran over a little bit later. And then I got a package from Sandra. You guys will see her post on my page a lot. That's my buddy. I got happy birthday box from her with tons and tons of scrapbook.com 6x6 pads of Doodlebug, is it? And I'm in love because I use them on the, yeah, Doodlebug designs. I use them on my photo mats, but I also use them, there's more, there's a stack of them, on my clothes for my little kids, and for sometimes like a pumpkin decoration in the back. Where's my white chalk pencil? Now, I just take the white chalk pencil. I do this on some, but not on all. Just to kind of give it some personality. And then I use a large fanned paintbrush to get off my eraser shavings and any imperfections from the chalk dust, things like that. Now my white gel pen, I'm gonna go with a 0.8, and I'm just gonna make 2 dots. I'm gonna go ahead and put her nose on after I'm done. Let me do her cheeks real quick. I know my glue is open, but that is also, this is an 18 gauge. It's not a needle, it's just a metal tip. It's actually, I glued the yellow part down because it's got an inside. I'll show you guys on another video when I can actually get up and reach in the back. It actually has the same cannula that we start IVs with. So this was from Joann's. You will find it where the stamps are. They have, it's next to the ink pads, and it comes in a pack of 3. There's a triangle tip, then there's a flat tip, and then the round tip. I use the round tip to put on blush just because it distributes it evenly, and I see some black chalk there. I don't want that mixing in with the blush. But it distributes it evenly, and it gets in the grooves of the paper texture very well for me. Everybody finds their own little knack. You will figure out if you want this or if you want to use Pom Poms. So we're gonna go ahead and put her together. Her shirt goes on first because that's the base in the picture. So I just want to make sure that I stay in frame the best I can since I'm cutting time here. My husband has been great Oh boy, see, I almost just made a mistake. I don't want the glue drying with all the zigzag lines. The sleeves go down first. I hardly ever have patterns with puffy sleeves, so that caught me off guard actually. And I would have glued the shirt down, and then if I would have made the mistake, this one must go on this one. If I would have made the mistake, what I would have done is cut the puffy part off.